Carl and Damon here from Games, Brains and Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's They Made What into a TV series. Shenmue, the animation, episode 3, Yin-yang. This is, of course, what we're going to talk through the episode, give you our insight and thoughts on it, and just the show overall. Of course, this is Shenmue, you should know it, based on the video game, well, the first two video games in the Shenmue franchise. That's definitely dead and buried now, but there we go. And we begin in Balu village with Shenhua walking while reciting the prophecy poem. And I laughed here because I think this show is not above criticism. Like, I think there are things to criticize, and here's another good example of it. Is that all she does? Now, I know in the game there ain't exactly much there either, but like at the moment in the show, it's like I would, if I lived in the village, I'd be like, oh, banging on about that prophecy again. She's like, that's all she does, wandering around talking about it. But like, is she okay? Does she need help?
Mm.
Especially as she's become a bit preoccupied with the he in the poem. Oh yeah, she's like, "Who's that guy? Where does he come from? Who's
Yeah.
that guy?" Anyway, there's another guy there who's jealous about that. And he wants her to come with him and others to a nearby village that's holding a night festival soon. But she couldn't care less because all she's thinking about is that guy who's going to come on his motorbike with his leather jacket, sexy as fuck. Back in Japan, though, the Mad Angels and Terry are talking about Rio, who obviously beat up Charlie, and they're wondering if he's linked to the Chen organization. Meanwhile, Rio goes to the China shop, the Russia China shop, where a character in there, the little boy, the one he saved the other day, introduces him to his grandmother, who, happily, just like the game, will reveal the detail of that letter. And the fact that they're mirror characters, you're holding it to mirror, and then you can read them. But even then, they have a distinct style. She translates it as following: Beware those coming. They seek the mirror. Contact Master Chen for help if the situation gets dire. Signed, Yuanda Zhu. And on the back, Father's Heaven, Nine Dragons, Mother's Earth, Comrades, which of course from the game you should know is code.
Yep.
This would all be very confusing, but the letter I always thought was hilarious in the game, and it's just as funny here. The letter has a phone number on it. I'm like, well, that just makes it easy, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like you can be all this code and all that, but here's a phone number. Anyway, so of course, Rio calls that number from the tobacco shop. Yeah. Yeah, no, it does that. The show constantly does that. Little references. But the thing is, they're not shoehorned in. It just works because it's from this world. But unlike the game, Rio gets the code right first time. I'm like, nah, mate. He needed to get it wrong once or twice and then have to redial the number each time. Do you know
Yep.
what I mean? Make it more realistic.
And it's the extremely slow redial.
Yeah.
One number, two number. Uh,
Warehouse number 8, Rio asks the wrong questions, and of course, the person on the other end hangs up. So that's very much like it. He's then advised to call helpline and find out more information about the number he dialed, which of course leads him to the harbour. So I did think, whoa, slow down. We're
mm,
episode 3 and we're going to the harbour. But then I think I said this in the last episode review. There ain't a lot of meat to the bones of this. What else are we supposed to fill it with? You know,
yeah,
pachinko machines.
and so
We
you
know
think about
this.
so you can complete Shenmue in 2 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, super quick.
it's everything in between what we do. The collectible toys and all the dialogue and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. But yo, bro, it's Goro. But not at that stage yet. This is where he tries to rough up Rio, but gets his ass kicked, because who doesn't? And following that, he points Rio towards warehouse number 8. Rio tries to enter warehouse number 8, so we're even here, we were flying along.
Yeah.
And is captured and brought before Master Chen. And this is a big deviation from the game. But we got to get there, so it's all fine. Master Chen, kind to Rio, reveals what he knows to the man and shows him a letter. We learn that Yanda Zhu is an old friend who lives in Hong Kong and is quite a well-known figure in the shady world that the Chens operate in. So it's all, like the game, it's all very mysterious, underground trouble stuff, bad
Mm.
stuff. Rio isn't loving that his father may have been caught up with this and learns more about how the mirror got to Japan and a little bit more detail about Lan Di. It's here we learn that the Chiyu Men cartel, their operation in China, of course, and Lan Di's position in it. He's one of their cartel's executives and a master of deadly form of martial arts. All of this is perfectly good. And to
Yep.
emphasize this, we even get a side scene of Landy interrogating someone to find out the name of Yanda Zhu. This could be a flashback. This could be a flash forward. Who knows? Uh, Guzhang, who is the son slash, worker of Master Chen. He has an awkward scene with his dad because to flesh this out, he kind of gets. Well, I'm going to put it another way. Call it bad timing because I watched these episodes around the same time as I watched Borderlands for the review of that. But basically, Guzhang has daddy issues. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. But to be fair, This is Shenmue. Shenmue exists because of daddy issues.
Yeah.
Rio has daddy issues, dead daddy issues, a different kind of
Yep.
daddy issues, still daddy issues, you know? In fact, yeah, Gora's, in fact, there's a lot of daddy issues. Gora's going to have some.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, Master Chen tells him about a second mirror, the Phoenix mirror, and Rio reckons, it might be here, so I'm going to go search for it. Once he's left, Guzang queries why. Well, why the hell are we helping this kid? And Master Chen claims, well, look, it's what Zu requests of me. But Guzang is kind of worried that like it's going to bring us into conflict with the Chi Yu men and Mad Angels. We also see that the Guzang and Master Chen have lost their familiar connection. And this bothers Guzeng. He might like it back. And this is just basically his story, with Shen sending him off on an assignment. I don't mind the extra depth about Guzong. I don't. It adds fleshes out the story a bit and makes his character feel a little bit more important in it. The Master Chen thing is similar to the game in that it bugged me, which is basically he goes from helping you because I was asked to. No, I'm not helping you anymore.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, which is it? You know, I know it's like, oh, because of the danger, but the danger's here already.
Yeah, so obviously he made obviously the promise to obviously and obviously
Yandazu.
the and the zoo. But I do like the fact that it's the more in-depth into Queensland, because obviously they're not going to do the whole forklift racing, we're not putting and stuff like, and they said obviously all that's going to get avoided. So they have to sort of like add a filler into it. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, we need a little bit more character stuff in this rather than avoiding it. So I'm fine with it as well. But back home, we literally step into the entire video game here momentarily because this is about finding the Phoenix Mirror. And it pretty much plays out to a degree like the game.
Mhm.
Puzzles including how there's even a Sega Saturn in the background, he goes to the antique dealer, the Bukanda Antiques, the Sword Guard, finds a bit more about the Chen operation there. They operate the Ju Feng Company, a major antique art dealer, but actually it's an illicit operation that smuggles antique art in from China. On the way home, Rio is confronted by Guzang. They get into that fight here where Rio loses, but this is a test because according to Guzang and Master Chen's orders, he's here to serve as Rio's bodyguard, and Rio is unimpressed. I don't mind their dynamic a bit here. This does feel more, I complained last time about Rio not being quite as hot-headed. Here we get
Yeah.
a little bit more of it. He doesn't like Guzang particularly, but he's still a cocky kid as well.
Mm.
But he also gets under his skin when he asks about the father and son relationship. And we see all this is being watched by nearby Chai. I know it's a show and all that, but like, yeah. I'd be like, Rio, like, it's a quiet street.
Yeah,
Fuck was
exactly.
that? Tell me, oh, it's that little, you know what I mean? Like, he's not exactly quiet up there, constantly talking to himself, but also like the game. I know the game had done this all up, but man, because these films exist, he's so Gollum-like. He's so
Mm.
Gollum-like.
Yeah.
Rio runs into Nozomi and Mai, and through a conversation with them, he ends up sort of thinking about a hidden room, maybe at the dojo, that might hold a mirror. Before he leaves, though, Nozomi asks Rio, look, when you've got time, I want to ask you advice about something. So, yeah, here we go. Following a sparring session with Fukusan, kick his ass, Rio. He's
Oh
annoying.
God.
Rio finally works out where the secret room is in the dojo. Now, I am glossing over the detail around this, of course, because, I can't go too in depth, but it leads to a basement where he finds the Phoenix Mirror and a photo of his father with an unknown man, and the words in the back say, at Balu Village. So just like the game. Cut completely to warehouse number 8, where Rio is showing Master Chen the mirror. I was a bit like, whoa, okay. But then I was kind of like, what actually happens in the game there anyway? I don't think. Go on.
In the actual game, the same thing happens. You find the
Yeah.
mirror, and it cuts straight to warehouse.
Yeah, exactly that. For some reason, I was like, oh, is there something in between? But there actually isn't. You're absolutely right. Master Chen tells him that the Yandazu once said that when the dragon and the phoenix meet, the gates of heaven and earth will open and Chi Yu will resurrect itself on earth, a legendary creature from Chinese myth said to devour entire worlds. And that's where you stop taking things that Yandazu said seriously. Like, unless he's pissed and he's like, hey, Chen, I reckon when these two, do you know what I mean? All right, mate. Yeah, all right. Pat, pat, pat.
So the one thing even from the game aspect, I always question is like, why would you have both mirrors in the same place? Sure, you'd have one here and then one like across the entire end of the world. Yeah.
It's that, isn't it? The fact that, one is just buried in the garden and one is just in a drawer in a secret room. but they're like feet apart from each other. Why is one of them not in a box with bricks at the bottom of the fucking harbour? Like,
Exactly.
honestly, it's like, I'm gonna hide these things, but I don't want to try too hard about hiding them. I'll put it over there. You know what I mean? Come on, man. But also, why does he have both? Why is one not in the hands of someone else?
Master Chen, for example, or anyone, or the Master Tao who you meet in the second one, as anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But anyway, how does all of this fit in the Landy's plans? No time to wonder, as here's Chai. And he gets hold of the mirror. He can't quite escape it though, as we get the game's QTE moment where you have to push the button to unbalance him, which results in Chai dropping it and having to run off empty-handed. To be fair, this is so ingrained in me. When he runs towards it, I actually heard the dit, 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 dit
yeah,
noise in my head,
yeah,
and I made me laugh. Master Chen said that Chai is someone sent by the Chiyu men and they have ties with the Mad Angels. Okay, this is a game problem for me, right? Why isn't Chai already reporting back what he said to what he's seen to Landy? Like, I never understood it as a game, but Chai's like, oh, I must get the mirror and then go tell Landy. Why would he not have been like, boss, the second mirror is here and the kid has it before Landy leaves for Hong? Do you know what I mean? Like, I never
yeah,
understood that. Like, it's like Chai's like, oh, I can't go back until I have the mirror. Like, if he'd done
yeah.
something to like, I know, like they should express more that he can't go back without the mirror. Otherwise, like Landy will kill him without even listening.
That's the only thing that I could think of. He wants to physically have it in his hand and walk
Yeah.
up and go, here's the mirror. You know?
Hey, boss, that kind of thing, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
I have it, the one mirrors, you know, that kind of thing.
yeah. Because I can imagine if he went to Landy, he goes, I know what a mirror is. The kid's got it. Like, well, then fucking go get it then.
Yeah,
Bring it to
yeah.
me. That
Yeah,
sort
but
of
then he
thing.
could. I feel like he could get around it and being like, the kid had it, and but he's brought it to the Chens, and then you can have that. You know what I mean, like that side
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
things.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But that's overthinking. The game had plot issues. There are many more. Trust me, folks. There's more to come. Mad
Yeah.
Angel's about to start in the show, and even the show makes a mess of this. But anyway, Guzong explains that the Mad Angels are a rival operation of Chen's organization, and over the span of just a few years, they gained tremendous influence in Yokozuku through arms smuggling and a brisk and legal drug trade. And Master Chen thinks that the Mad Angels likely provided Landy his way in. Will the Mad Angels lead Rio to Landy? Possibly, but we actually cut to Landy and we see that he's preparing to leave Japan. Rio asks, look, where would Landy go? Master Chin says, well, probably back to Hong Kong. And Rio's like, sweet, go in there.
Mm.
Guzang's like, bruv, it's a waste of time. Rio questions Guzang, look, what would you do? If your father was killed right in front of you, would you just shut up and take it? You mug, you prick. He
Yep.
might as well have added all those words. And Guzang's like, he's all like sad because he's thinking about it. Rio's
Mm.
like, I will not take it. No matter what happens, I will always be my father's son. And I'm like, yeah, a dead son? Like, that's the point, you idiot. Nobody's saying
Yeah,
you won't be a father's son. You'll be a dead one.
yeah. That's the one thing I never understood. I know obviously he's desperate for vengeance, but it's like you don't stand a chance. This guy will kill you with one kick.
No, but I'm okay with that because vengeance is vengeance. Like, you're not
Yeah,
thinking like that. But Master Chen's like, look, bruv, I ain't helping you. Not anymore. Like, this is you going to the criminal underworld. But of course, Rio's like, yeah, well, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't need you. I'm going to go do it myself. And Guzong's like, oh, my hero. Because there was a bit of like, Guzong's like, oh my God, he's so tough.
yeah,
You know? But finally, for the end of this episode, we see Landy leaving Japan saying that everything lies with Yonda Zoo. Thanks for that, Landy. And that is episode number 3. Talky, very full of stuff, very fast paced, but very, very talky. It's a really video gamey episode more than anything else. I still enjoyed it. The few things I've got complaints about, the complaints that actually weirdly relate to the game as much as they do the show, you know?
yeah. I mean, if you're a fan of like the games, as
Yeah,
it said,
you could be
you
loving
will
this.
absolutely love the show. And obviously, I love the games, I love the show. But as you said, the games, both like 1 and 2, and obviously 3, I know you haven't played through, but they all have major flaws. Major flaws, and this does too. Yes, of course.
Yeah, yeah, of course. We should know, it doesn't matter if I played 3 because 3 is not relevant to the show.
Yeah.
So that's very important. But yeah, that's episode 3, Yin Yang. You got any thoughts on it? You want to share? You know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.